that happen. So, it's going to be the Stargate opening. You said earlier, if I understood correctly, that you didn't really expect him to play Stargate very aggressively?
No, I didn't expect him to go for a one-base Void Ray.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, you know, like, if I was so, I'd not be worried about one-base Void Ray on Lens. I mean, stats is not exactly max specs.
Alright.
But I mean, a macro-oriented Stargate, completely okay. And he's actually opening up the Phoenix, my man stats. He knows
Plus one upgrades, come on.
Nah, it's very rare against
He has
Terran.
to finish up Warp Gate first.
Yeah.
Okay, we can start shouting about it afterward.
Yeah, I think this is like the Korean standard kind of Phoenix Colossus stuff where they go right up to 5 and then immediately switch over to Colossus and then all the extra
Oh,
tech.
that's bad.
I think he saw the third CC too. Ooh, this is a little... Wow. I'm amazed he did not lose that low health one over there. But if you see the third CC, then I think he's just going to slam down a bunch of tech and stuff like that. The thing that always gets me, though, is all play against players that are going for a third CC. They land it and then they... You know, it looks like they're just going to do, you know, maybe a small little pressure push and then they go back, right? But then they pull SCVs while they're landing the third base. So and you're just completely caught off guard because now you're suddenly getting all end, even though you saw a third CC. So, like, that's something that might still happen. The double eBay would, you know, I think that's not really in the cards right now, but that kind of stuff is still a possibility with these situations, I think.
So, Stats is really blind right now, right? He doesn't really know anything.
Go ahead, Loco.
Right.
Sorry.
No, I was asking, is there only one sentry there?
Yes.
Okay.
But the Guardian Shield will be beautiful. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, this is another thing we need to start doing more, Gemini. We have heard beautiful storms, beautiful force fields. Can we start shouting for beautiful Guardian Shields?
Beautiful Guardian Shield, tasteless. Never seen a better one in my life.
Only if it's in the center, though, right? If the sentry's off to the side,
then it doesn't count.
You got to really analyze where that ball is covering. If it's not getting every single zealot, not
guys, it's a big army, but look at the sentry. That is what I'm focused on right now.
Dude, it's in the perfect spot.
It is pretty good.
Okay, he doesn't need
Get ready.
He's waiting. No, this is good. You don't want to be too trigger happy with your Guardian Shield. You have to time it just right.
Yeah.
Look at this, by the way. 2 more robots.
Oh my god.
If he loses the 4 Colossi, he can just make another 3 right away. It's perfect.
Also getting observer speed pretty early on. I actually think it's an excellent choice. Stats feels like he's having the time of his life. He's like, wow, this is the most passive Terran I've ever played against. This is so cool. I can do everything.
Yeah, really. I feel like Sol is taking like the Maru approach times like 40 right now. He didn't even bother to try and drop it all in the first 5 minutes anyway, but he's like, you know, if I don't attack, the Protoss units can't possibly snowball the rest of my units, so let's not attack. But
what about the fleet beacon here, guys?
I mean, he's letting Stats do literally everything, so...
I mean, we don't have Storm and we don't have Disruptors, so you obviously have to say that this Protoss army is not as good as it possibly could be. Stats agrees with us, which I think is why he killed one of his own Zealots.
Yeah,
and he fires up 2 Disruptors.
That makes sense. Just try and add on a little bit more splash damage, right? There's already ghosts out, so
8 more?
Whoa!
He's going up
8 gates?
Yes.
Dude.
Is that a mistake? Or is that a
no, it's not a mistake. He
I
just
mean,
feels like he's got all the time in the world. He's maxed out and Sol's not doing anything. He's like, fine. Hey, +1 air weapons. Get a fleet beacon, mate. Oh, there's actually some good friendly fire. Like, obviously, you want to get rid of a couple of the Zealots because you don't want to max out on an army that's too heavy on the gateway units because then he could lose the fight in a pretty decisive manner. So I think it's actually a really good idea to get rid of some of this supply and start adding in a few more Disruptors. And I think it's fleet beacon time. We're getting a second cyber core. Come on, fleet beacon, and we're done, mate.
Yeah, maybe he's like, you know what,
This
Zest is doing
game
this
alone
off
is
of
gonna
50
last
probes
longer
with
than
like
the
8
Zest.
gates. Let me show you what you can do off of like 90 probes instead. See how many gateways you can support. Yeah, Sol is happily expanding behind this as well, by the way. 3 more command centers here.
It's going to be hard for him to take them, though. Like, having them is one thing, but securing those bases. I feel like Stats is so confused. He's like, what the hell is this boy doing? Like, he's like, maybe I need cannons? Do I need cannons? We got a fusion core going down, a couple of Liberators already being added. And there's our fleet beacon, 3 more Stargate. All right, let this sink in. 12 minutes into a PvT, Stats now has 3 Robos, 4 Stargates, 2 Cybernetics cores, and 18 gateways.
It's kind of like Sol is playing like a single-player campaign mission, you know? It's like survive against the Protoss for 18 minutes and you'll obtain the victory.
Yeah, and he's like, wow, that's so easy, man. The Protoss never attack.
Yeah. There's a lot of Protoss out on the map. He's taking the bottom right-hand corner. He's basically taking his entire side of the map.
I think we're about to have some action, because I don't think Stats really wants to let him sit on 5 bases forever. Because, I mean, we're not going to talk about Battlecruisers yet, but if this game would ever... Like, if truly nothing happens for the next 5 minutes, Soul can actually start building BCs, and if they are well upgraded, that actually becomes a problem for the Protoss army. This is actually the definition of, like, 15 minutes no rush.
Yeah. It's like Command and Conquer... Or no, what was it, Command and Conquer or Age of Empires, where that was common?
I think Command and Conquer, because like in CNC, the games, at least I had it in some of my games, because you had those engineers, you know, and like, you're like, oh, let's play some Command and Conquer or Red Alert today on the ladder. And then 2.5 minutes into the game, there's like a buggy driving into your base,
Right.
3 engineers run out, they take your main base and sell it, and the game is over. You're like, well, fuck you too.
It's like a Dark Archon, but
Yeah.
then for a building, yeah.
if you guys think that getting Zergling rushed in StarCraft 2 is not fun or bad, you guys have no idea the stuff that I had to deal with in my Red Alert days, okay? It's like you pump yourself up, then they run into your main base, sell it, and you're dead. This is nothing you can do.
It's like your command center all of a sudden salvages itself.
Yeah.
Well, so far those nukes are not achieving a whole lot.
I love how he did it right underneath an observer too, and Stats is just like, yeah, no, get out of here.
Storm hit
buddy.
No, you're right. Well,
Well, we are going to get BCs, guys. What are the upgrades on the BCs at
+2,
this point?
I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very important for Battlecruisers that they get armor, because they already have pretty thick basic armor, but obviously now all the Protoss units are well upgraded, so then you can start dealing with it. But if Soul can get out, I mean, this game is going to take on for a long time, guys, because you don't want to fight with 2 or 3 BCs. They won't have, you know, the impact that you're looking for. But if Soul can get like 10, 12, 14, or even 20 Battlecruisers, which we have seen in some games in the past, Protoss has a really, really, really hard time in dealing with that.
alrighty. Now, of course, the attack weapons are absolutely fantastic as well for those Battlecruisers because they attack even faster than Phoenixes do. It's building 4 Battlecruisers at once, though. They just take like 7 years to actually come out.
Yeah, but we have so many turrets.
How many Stargates is that going to be? There's 4 more.
8?
8 Stargate, 18 gateways. What is this?
Yeah, but I think the 8 Stargate is a good choice, though, because there's a very big chance that if Soul does max out on BCs, that you're going to lose the fight. But if you can then reinforce with 8 Void Rays with Flux Veins or 8 Tempests, yeah, then you can stabilize. Let's not forget, like when Soul wants to win this game, he doesn't just need to destroy the army and destroy the army again. He needs to destroy 2 armies in one fight. Because with 8 Stargates and 18 gateways, the amount of reinforcements that Stats is going to have are going to be absolutely outrageous.
Does the Yamato cannon just
really
take
the
down
only
like
thing
half
that you can do.
a Tempest? Does a lot of damage.
Yeah,
I think it's a full Tempest, isn't it?
I don't know if it's a full.
Isn't it one shot?
No, I
Beyond
think
it.
it's 2.
No, I think it's one shot. I think he's right.
Yeah, is it 300 damage for Yamato? I don't even know.
Oh, we're about to find out, I'm sure.
I'm going to Liquipedia.
I actually think it is one shot. It's definitely one shot's Void Rays. Maybe Tempest survives with 50 HP. Maybe 250 sounds right.
That still seems so high. Anyways, there's a lot of Battlecruisers going around the map now. Obviously, they have a nice ability called
Tactical
jump. They can always go back.
It's
so.
240 damage.
Yeah,
240
So they
damage.
have 300 health, right?
Yep, it
Very-
survives with 60
very
HP.
close.
Yeah, Void Rays get one-shotted,
Basically
and Tempest
one-shot.
survive
Yeah.
with not much left.
There you go. The Storms are apparently the weapon of choice now against this, and this is not even working so badly.
In big fights, it's actually very nice to have
Yeah.
Storm against BCs, because it does do a lot of damage. And Stalkers are going to melt. Like, the 3 BCs could maybe even win that fight if there's no battery. That's how good they are against these units. Phoenix deal like 2 damage against max armored BCs. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I really want him to suicide these Phoenix at this point. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
They're actually useless right now. They do nothing versus BCs. This game is going to just become mass BC eventually, and like you really need you need basically as much Tempest as you can. Like it's actually so hard to trade well against it, and you really need to
he giving up
kinda
these
stop
units
it
as well?
before
Yeah,
it
yeah.
gets there.
Yep.
Wow.
This is just a donation, because these units don't matter anymore.
There's the nuke.
How often do you say that, guys? 4 Colossi and 2 Archons. But to be honest, I do
Get rid
feel
of them. 7 more Tempest instead.
a couple of Archons I do feel is always useful, because A, Archons have a lot of HP, and B, BCs like to clump up. So then Archon shots can absolutely make the difference. Believe it or not, Guardian Shield is actually important.
Look at them sacrificing so many units to each other, yeah.
Because the BCs attack so quick, like you just mentioned, Loco. So if you can give your entire army +2 armor, it's actually a pretty big deal. It's all going to come down, I think, to a nice mix for Protoss to deal with mass BC. I think is a decent amount of Tempest, a couple Archons, a lot of Storms, and maybe a couple Carriers to deal with Vikings, just in case.
Oh no! Don't lose a sentry! No!
Oh, no, it's fine, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, no! The hero sentry goes down. Well, At least this opens up even more supply, I guess, to get more Tempest out.
The thing is, with just Tempest,
Dude,
I don't think
so
you
sad.
have a win, though. Like, if this army jumps on top of a Tempest army and it Yamato's everything, then the Tempest will always lose. But I think the way that Protoss wins is with sick reinforcements, right? You kind of soften up the entire army, and then you reinforce with 8 Stargates and 18
Poor
gateways
Adept
at
there,
once.
That Adept literally has got its personal nuke. Bum. She's super dead.
It's getting to the point where it's actually really, really hard to kill this, to kill the army.
I actually think
it's
Sol made a
actually
big
so
mistake
impossible.
by going back. Like, I understand he wants to repair a couple of units, but he should have kept pushing.
Yeah, those Tempests take forever to produce, right? And he needs like 2 or 3 production cycles before he actually is maxed once again. Now, at the very least, Stats is going to buy himself a lot of time for this as well, so...
Yeah, this is nice for Stats.
This is very good.
It's going to keep Sol busy. But Sol's going to scan. He's going to... Oh! Tactical jump on top of the mothership. And that mothership is going to die very quickly after a couple of Yamatos land. There's a lot of Stargates in the main base, by the way. Don't forget about that. All the gateways get unpowered. How many Tempests do we have? 13.
He can't really easily retreat though, right? These Tempests obviously have an insane amount of range in air-to-air combat, and since, yeah, he jumped on top of the mothership, he's not really going to be able to do very much here for some time. I mean, he gets a couple more Yamatos, but we now know that apparently it takes 2 of those Yamato cannons to take down 1 of those Tempests.
This may have been a mistake by Sol. It looked very cool, right? But he's like, he's getting the mothership! But that was a perfect position for all the Tempests to be in. Maybe Sol was hoping that the Tempest count was low.
Tempests are so fast here as well.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
that was the whole 22 minutes.
That was a weird.
I mean, we did kill the mothership.
Yeah, it is minus 400, minus 400.
Minus 400.
I've been told.
Like, imagine if the Vikings were there. Like, that's a completely different fight. Because Tempests are not that good against Vikings, because Tempests obviously attack slow as dirt. But I still think Sol has a very good shot. Yeah, he's got 11 BCs. Okay, Sol's still got an amazing shot. Even though he lost 10 BCs in the main base, Sol is absolutely still in this. Because I think if he doesn't make a similar mistake like he did before, he could absolutely crush a fight.
Yeah, but look at the banks though, right?
Yeah, but I mean, this army is more expensive than the bank.
Right, yeah, fair.
And if you just get Yamato'd into oblivion, it's
True.
Yeah, like if they actually just teleport right on top of you and you can't get out in time, because sometimes you can counter it with like a really fast recall or
Tickle
something.
them to death.
But if they teleport everything on top of you and get a dream engagement, like it will actually just kill your army, and then no matter what you can reinforce with, will also just die.
yeah, because they get on top of your reinforcements, so then every unit that pops out will die immediately.
Hey, by the way, I'm pretty sure this one game is now longer than the entire best of 5 between Zone and
it absolutely is. All it took was for the two players to not attack each other.
Nothing anymore.
No. Look at this HP.
This is worse than a Sentry.
I'm amazed they're still alive, dude.
Yeah. Well, they're busy dealing with the ground units.
I can't believe that Stats unironically suicided like 4 or 5 Colossi and a bunch of Immortals before all of those Phoenix. How did those Phoenix last to 25 minutes?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Knowing that it was
a couple
BC
Archons
game.
as well, right? Like the Archons would not be bad.
All right, 10 carriers, 7 Tempests, a mothership, and 6 Stormy Boys. Where are they? They're kind of scattered around the map. Oh, a couple of them in the prism. I really do believe that if Sol controls his army properly... Whoa, mothership recall! But this is risky, though. Where are the BCs? Where are the Vikings? I don't know about this one, guys.
What if you just counter...
I don't know about this one.
Here come the Vikings. Obviously, Battlecruisers are not going to be that far behind either. They decide to jump straight on top of all of those carriers. Yamato cannons right away on all of the Protoss units.
Are dead. I'll guarantee you they are dead. A couple of big storms on the Vikings on the left side, but these BCs should be able to win the fight as soon as these Tempests are gone. The carriers are doing whatever they can. Stat still does have a lot of supply, and that mothership is tanky.
No, it's supply that's currently still building. He just restarted 6 more carriers, knowing that he's going to lose a ton of units over here.
Yeah, but Sol also lost a lot, right? It wasn't as dominant of a victory for Sol as I perhaps expected. We're going to try to recall the mothership out, and it gets picked off. Ooh. That was just very pricey for both.
What is this game?
That's a sick fight, though. That's a cinematic.
See Stats just laughing in the camera, by the way.
That's a cinematic fight if I've ever seen one.
So you weren't kidding, by the way. Look at the banks now. That army was really expensive.
He probably has Tempest queued up too, right? Oh, he even has more carriers queued up. He's got
okay, that's
I'm
where the money
surprised he's
is.
making carriers.
Yes, I mean, he did kill most of the BCs, to be fair, and maybe he thinks Sol is broke, which is not incorrect, because Sol does not have the bank to rebuild all the I think the storms were absolutely massive,
No,
and I
yeah.
think that's what helped out a lot, because the Viking count just kind of melted at first. That went better for stats than I expected.
Yeah, I think the Vikings dying, like, the Vikings walked into 2 storms, and then it took them until after they already had like 3 ticks of damage before he actually moved them out. So almost all of them got vaporized.
They'll
really
lose the High
fast.
Templar
That
to the
actually was
planetary.
really big.
Did he just lose 4 High Templar?
Could be.
Did he just?
No,
Are you calling me out, Loco?
No, with this army, like there were 4 full energy High Templar with the carriers. Oh no, they're over there. Okay.
Oh, they're right there.
I mean, they're just on the other side of the map, Loco. Sorry, I didn't see it.
No, you were just. They were just. All right, I'll shut up, guys. You guys juke it out about Guardian Shields or whatever.
Dude, but if he had a Guardian Shield, what would that fight have gone completely stats' way? I mean, it's
Probably.
not out of the question. I don't.
Minus
think so.
2 damage on everything? Sure.
Yeah.
Look at this.
That Sentry did not need to die earlier. Those Phoenix died after the Sentry. That's a sin.
I think we need to give him a name.
No, Overcharge ran out. Needs to buff. Can it just last 5 more seconds, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like Overcharge is not good enough.
Alright, how many BCs do we have? Only 3. We do have 9 goals. EMPs can obviously be pretty impactful, but
Yes.
20 carriers.
Is that 20 carriers?
And 157 interceptors.
I have never seen that many carriers.
So
like,
actually, oddly enough, Stats is not going to be able to rebuild the interceptors very easily, right? Like
That is a good point.
He's got very well. He actually just counts
yeah.
something and he's got money again. Okay.
But I do think he's going to absolutely obliterate the army of Soul.
Yeah.
Because this carrier army is really good. How many Marines do we have?
Oh my God! Massive storm goes on top of all of those Terran units. Alrighty, Soul just lost like 80 supply in a heartbeat.
Yep. I think this is kind of it. A couple of BCs are not going to cut it against the 20 carriers that Stats wanted to battle with. GG after 29 minutes.